Hey, and welcome everybody. We're going to get started here in just a second with the LeadFlow webinar for business brokers. Now, I'm excited to do this webinar because I've been having a lot of one-on-one meetings with business brokers, reviewing the LeadFlow system, going through the features and functions and the technology and answering a lot of questions. And I thought, what better than to leverage our webinar platform and do a one-to-many and invite all of you to watch this live, answer questions. And then also this recording is one that I'm going to share with everyone afterwards. So hopefully this will live on and answer a lot of questions. Okay, so let's do this. Let's start with what is LeadFlow. Now, LeadFlow is a system that we've developed. It's not a technology. It's not a single piece of software. It's a system for generating lead flow. And it leverages LinkedIn and LinkedIn automation. It leverages webinars, video, and some of our other technologies that we've bundled together. Now, the idea here is in the world of LinkedIn, you can't just be a taker and constantly just trying to take from everybody in there. LinkedIn doesn't like that. They kind of restrict your profile to ensure that you're not abusing their network. So LinkedIn automations are great because they can help scale and do a lot of the manual repetitive labor for you. But we also have to contribute to the community. So this means we have to bring content. And this creates a push and a pull benefit. So now you're attracting people to you while simultaneously also reaching out. So LinkedIn is the perfect ecosystem for this strategy. Now, the content that we help you create and that your thought leadership can also be applied to other social networks, but we're really going to be focused on LinkedIn today and showing you how all of this works. So let me start off with, I'm going to run through all of the deliverables that we include with our LeadFlow system. But let me pop over here. I'm going to share my screen and just talk about the whole process. 1 second, I'm just moving some screens around. There we go. So let's talk about the LeadFlow process. So to start, what we do is we focus on identifying your ideal customer profile and isolating an audience on LinkedIn. So that means we're going to run a search and we're going to use some of our other tools that we can use to identify intent data as well. So that means people on LinkedIn who are actively looking for, retirement or selling their business, things of that nature. And we're going to use that list of prospects that we identify for you in your local market and import that into the LinkSync system. LinkSync is our technology that will automatically send invites to all of these prospects. And then once they accept your invite to connect, it's going to follow up with additional messages within LinkedIn to try to get a conversation started for you. Next, we activate I guess step one is what I just covered here. That's where we take that list of prospects and we start engaging them. But one of the things that we're going to focus on is inviting them to a webinar. Now, not only are we going to be targeting this fresh list of prospects and inviting them to a webinar, which is going to be of you, talking about how to sell your business, really. I mean, the core fundamentals. Your first webinar is going to be about fundamentals and an introduction to you as a person, the services you provide, and educating them on what to expect when it comes time to sell or exit their business. So we're going to create that webinar and then start inviting these new prospects to it. But we're also going to leverage your existing network. Now, many of you that I've worked with already have thousands of people you've connected with. We can take your first degree contacts, isolate them just down to your region, and then invite them to the webinar as well. This means you might have hundreds and hundreds of people who meet the right criteria, CEO or business owner in your local area. And we don't have to wait to send invites to connect with them. We can just send them a message right now in bulk and invite them. So we can send up to 125 messages a day using our automation within LinkedIn. And so that's going to do all the inviting for you. So next, we want to get those conversations and those prospects into the CRM, right? So once somebody connects with you on LinkedIn, you don't want to spend all of your time focused in LinkedIn trying to engage with them. You want to spend your time, you want to pull that contact into your CRM. Get them into an email drip follow up, get them into a pipeline that now you can prioritize. Hey, this is a new connection, or this is somebody I'm talking to, or this is someone who's expressed interest or attended a webinar. You need to get them into that environment where you can track all of your contacts. The next thing is that we want to focus on ongoing webinars. So on an ongoing basis, over the course of months and months, you can host additional webinars. But we want your first one to be what's called an evergreen webinar. Evergreen means you can reuse it. You recorded it once. It was a live event, and we can do another one just as if it were live, but use the recording. This gives you tremendous economy of scale. It allows you to be able to host events on a regular basis, driving new connections and people that you would want to see your webinar into that event without having to repeat the process for yourself every time. So this is part of the technology we provide, that the webinar system that will allow you to host live webinars like this one and evergreen webinars like this one is going to be. So in addition to that, we also want to provide a hook. So with your prospects and the people you're talking to, whether it's through LinkedIn Direct or on a webinar, you want to have a hook, something that you can give to them where they're going to find great value. But in exchange, they're going to give you information, and they're going to essentially be identifying themselves as a hot lead or a prospect that's truly interested in learning about selling their business. And so what we've done is we've created the business valuation tool here. Now, this is an AI-powered business valuation tool. And you can see this one in particular is branded to one of my clients who's in the Murphy franchise. And what we do is we provide you with your own version of this, completely white labeled. So you can link to this directly using this URL. You can link to it from your website. You can put it on your signature. You can include it in your LinkedIn drip campaign and in an email, but also you can talk about it on your webinar. You can say, hey guys, have you ever thought about what your business might be worth? And if you want to just do a little bit of research on your own, check out this easy 5-minute business valuation tool that we're providing to you, totally complimentary. So the user can land here, start their valuation, fill out this information, and I'm just going to, I told you this was a demo, so let's just do it. I'm going to show you how this works. So I put in my contact information. And then we can get into industry. And you know what? I'm actually going to make this as if I was like an HVAC or a manufacturing company or something like that. Let's go with that category. Been operating for 6 to 10 years and involved in daily operations. And I'm going to go kind of middle of the road on all of these. Let's say annual revenue is at 1 million. And then it will break down the easiest way to estimate here. So let's say net profit, and let's just say 200,000 over the last 3 years. Your revenue has, let's say, grown moderately, and percentage of revenue recurring. Let's just say that that's around 50%, 25 to 50%. Okay, we hit next. Now it's going to ask us some more details. I'm just going to click some random ones here. This is asking about business structure, organization, things of that nature, paperwork. And all of these answers are factoring into the valuation. So there you go. Now, with just a few minutes time, out comes this range, this conservative range estimate on what their business might be worth. It breaks down the earnings and the multiple and the methodology behind the valuation. And then it also introduces, it goes into more detail about like who your ideal seller might be or who your ideal buyer might be, and things of that nature. So it's pretty comprehensive, especially for just being a couple minute assessment. But why does this matter? Well, think about all the data that we just collected. Now they can go ahead and click this button here and schedule an appointment with you. They can request it, get emailed to them. And as I mentioned, this entire thing is white labeled to you and your brand. So this is your hook. You provide this to all of your prospects so that they can identify themselves as a hand raiser. That's what you're looking for. It's not that this is going to be the end all be all best valuation they've ever seen. The idea is you want to take a list of hundreds and hundreds of people that you're engaging on LinkedIn and through webinars and in a variety of other ways, email campaigns, and you want to find the ones who go, hey, you know what? I really do kind of want to know what my business is worth, so that you can then follow up with them and continue that conversation. This is how you warm up your leads. So your hook, that's one of the big pieces to this whole strategy. And then thought leadership, of course. So in addition to all of this outbound effort to engage, we also want to create content that you can use on LinkedIn and in other social media channels. And that becomes your webinars. This is where we take your webinar recording and we can chop it up into little bits, little bites. These become reels, these become short videos, these become thought leadership that you can incorporate into posting into LinkedIn. And this means that you're contributing to the community, and that's what LinkedIn really wants to see. So guys, that is the plan. And we provide the software, we provide the strategy, we help you set everything up, we create all of the accounts and get everything connected and build out the workflows, including in the CRM. So if you're using our CRM or one of or any other, we can help connect the data to the CRM and build out the workflows. I'm going to go into detail on how that looks and what happens after a lead comes into the CRM in just a second. But first, what I want to do is I want to come over here and show you a few other things. So let's take a look at the LinkedIn setup first. And I'm just going to find that page. Okay, so this is link synced. This tool is connected to your LinkedIn profile. And again, we do all the setup, so you don't have to worry about learning how to build this stuff or do any of the work. But essentially what we're looking to do is we're looking to connect to your LinkedIn profile, send invites to connect, and send automated follow-up messages to everybody that you're connecting with. This system, as this is a brand new client of mine, she just got started. And you can see already just in the short few weeks that she's been going, the system has sent out 258 messages, sent 183 invites to connect. So this is a great start to a very early launch with the LinkedIn automation. And I'm just going to show you what the campaigns look like. A campaign is essentially the audience and the strategy of what we're telling the system to do. So if I open this one up, you can see she's already at a 6% acceptance rate with 11 accepted, and that's great for in the first week. That's really phenomenal. We imported a list of 463 leads, and we can add more into that as needed. If we take a look at the sequence over here, this is what we built for her. So this is what we're telling the automation to do. We're telling it to take a look and view the profile first. So this is human behavior, right? We're telling the machine to have human behavior. Go look at the profile. Then send an invite to connect without a note, just an invite to connect. Then we're going to view the profile and like one of their posts. Then it's going to wait a day and it's going to like another post. And then after that warm up of viewing the profile and kind of getting on the radar, we're going to send this follow-on message. Now, remember, this has been several days since the initial invite was accepted. So several days later, we're going to send this follow-on message that just says, hey, I made a short introduction video for you. And then we include this link. Now, this link, although it looks like text here, when it shows up in LinkedIn, it'll actually show up as a GIF video. So they'll see movement and they're going to be like, hey, that's weird. Nobody ever sends me videos here. And when they click on that video, it's going to drop them onto a dedicated landing page. Notice this landing page only displays the video. There's no suggested ads from YouTube. There's no distractions. And in her case, there's only one call to action. So this platform that we use is also provided to you. And all you need to do as part of the LeadFlow setup is record the video for me, which is very easy to do. The way you record a video is I send you a link. You paste the link into your browser, and it's going to say connect to your camera. You'll hit record, and you're going to give your 30-second elevator pitch. Now, I don't want to get into all the strategy details here, but I'll tell you, this video is very, very easy to record. The idea behind it is video voicemail. You literally just want to leave them a voicemail, but do it on video. So you're going to say, hey, my name's Geoff. Thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I reached out to you because I saw you're a local business owner. I'm a business broker here in the Sacramento area. I'd love to meet with you. And if you have a few minutes, maybe you could just go ahead and schedule some time on my calendar so that we could chat, get to know each other, and see if there's any ways we can collaborate in the future. Thanks so much for being part of my network. Click the button below, snag a time that works for you, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you. That's your script. That's all you got to do. It's really, really simple. When they click the link, it's automatically going to take them to the calendar. Excuse me, guys. And now they can book a meeting with you. So we're keeping the flow consistent, professional, but at the same time, conversational. And all of this running 100% automatically in the background for you. Once we've recorded this video and set up this automation, the machine's on autopilot. And you can see, I've got clients, every one of these is branded with your logo. You can have different call to action buttons. So if you want them to call or email or book a meeting, you just mention what you want them to do in your video, and then we set up the appropriate buttons below. We set this page up for you, so you don't have to worry about learning that either. Okay, so let's go back to the webinar tool real quick. So this is the basic strategy. We introduce ourselves with video, and then we get into follow-on messages. So after we wait a little while, if they have not responded, we're going to send some follow-on messages. And we'll continue to do that. And we can even include like a PDF document or a picture or anything else with these messages as we send them. And we'll also continue to do things like endorsing them for a skill on LinkedIn, liking another post, so on and so forth. This can go on for several weeks or months with reasonable timelines in between, gaps in between, so it doesn't feel aggressive or bombarding. Once somebody responds, this is important though, once a response is detected, the automation will stop and it will not continue to send them any messages. And ideally at that point, that's where you get involved. The system will know that a response was detected. You'll be able to come into the inbox, view those messages, and tag the lead appropriately. So you can say, hey, this is someone who's interested in meeting with me, or no, they said they're not interested. And all of that's going to get updated in the CRM automatically. So you'll be able to see your qualified leads, the ones you're talking to, and the ones who have said, no, I'm not the right person, or I'm not ready to talk. Those ones get removed from your opportunity pipeline. I'll show you how that works in a second. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the webinar system. The webinar system is something that we've developed, and I'm actually going to pull it up over here. I've got another window. All right. Bear with me. All right. So let's talk about creating an automated webinar. So this system, which I'll provide to you, is going to walk us through the steps of creating your own webinar. We give it a title, we set the length, and then we can get into branding and set up your image, your logo, and things of that nature. Then we set the date of the event and the frequency that we want it to recur thereafter. Once we've hit next, we can then go in and set up the registration page. This is the landing page, just like you registered on. And then there's a thank you page. And then we can set all the parameters for the watch room, which is what we're in right now. So this watch room where you're seeing me is exactly the way that your clients will experience it. And then we define the replay page, and that's just literally another link that we can share, and we can change the branding and things of that nature. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is how we build the watch page. So this is for the replay. And so we can, again, put in your logo, change all the text, put in a call to action at the bottom. This could be book a meeting or something of that nature. And we include the link to your recorded webinar. Then after that, we just set up all of the triggers. And so, we want confirmation emails going out, reminders going out. If they abandon the webinar halfway through, we can set, a follow-up with them, so on and so forth. So these are just basically all the things that we can trigger to happen based on their level of engagement. We can also send text message reminders, and then we can integrate directly with the CRM. So this is where I create a webinar hook and a web hook. And a web hook is what will take all the data that they provide when they register, first name, last name, email address, all of that, and automatically add that to the CRM and tag them as a webinar registrant or attendee. And that basically is the webinar system. So this is how we create your recurring webinars. We just go in and set all the settings, and that generates a link. And then we can just start sharing that link with anybody we want. And that's the webinar strategy. Okay, so we've talked about LinkedIn automation. We've talked about webinar. We've talked about the video tool. And these are really the main components of the outreach strategy, and what identifies leads and opportunity, what gets them engaged with you, and what gets them into the CRM. Now let's talk about the CRM. So we've developed a CRM snapshot. This is pre-configured, so it makes it really easy for us to implement on your behalf. And we'll get you comprehensively trained on what you need to do to utilize this properly and nurture these leads. But most of the build is all done on the back end for you, so you don't need to worry about those things. Now, what you're looking at here is this is our demo account, and I just created a profile for myself, or not a profile, but a contact record for myself, so that I could show you when you open up a contact who's submitted their information using the business valuation tool. That information is automatically going to appear here in this folder. And so this is where you're going to collect all of the data points that this for you, and look at how comprehensive it is. Not only do you have their business name, email address, and phone number, but we also know the industry they're in. We know how long they've been in business and the level of owner involvement, annual revenue, the profit metric used, the owner benefit amount, the revenue trends over the last 3 years, and so on and so forth. This is a lot of data that the system is collecting. And all of this becomes incredibly powerful for you to follow up and know exactly who you're dealing with. In addition to that, we have these great automations that we've built into the workflow, so that when somebody submits that business valuation inquiry, they're going to drop into a email drip campaign and what's called a webinar, or I'm sorry, I'm going to find this business valuation webhook. So this is what's going to collect the data and add it to the CRM. And I'm just going to show you kind of how this works, because this workflow is really important to understand what it's doing. So webhook collects all the data, and then it's going to update a new contact record. Then it's going to create an opportunity in an opportunity pipeline for you. Then it's going to add a tag, Onedery Business Valuation Tool, so you'll know where they came from. Then it's going to send an internal notification to you. So this is an email that goes to you that explains that they just submitted their business valuation, and will have all of the details provided. The template's not in here yet, but that's the placeholder for it. Next is going to add a note so that we can log all of the data in as a note in the system. It's going to assign the contact to you so that you are the owner of the contact moving forward, and also assign the opportunity owner to you. This just means that whenever the system is sending out an email, it will know to put your signature at the bottom of that email and things of that nature. So that's what triggers automatically every single time a business valuation is submitted through your dedicated white labeled business valuation tool. Next, if we take a look at our business valuation request email drip, this is what the customer is going to see, the prospect sees. And this is just a series of emails that's going to not only engage with them on your behalf. So lead comes in, assign, internal notification. Then we've got your business valuation results email. So this gets sent to the client. And they're going to see all of this data applied to a nicely formatted graphic. And I'll show you what this looks like in a bigger view. All right, so here you're going to see this is basically introducing, thanking them for their submission, and then automatically putting in their business name, business location, and then every single one of these summarizes the whole thing for them. So they get this comprehensive report sent to their email that breaks everything down and kind of explains what this means. And then it asks for a meeting, and it automatically includes your calendar link right there and your signature at the bottom. So that's the first email that they're going to receive. The second email, well, I should say next, the system is going to monitor and look and see if there's a response. If there's a response, then it's going to check and see if there was a confirmation or an appointment booked. If there's no appointment booked, then it's going to go ahead and send the follow-up email a few days later. And the follow-up email is essentially going to, again, apply the data, but in a way that's useful to them. So it's not just saying, hey, book a meeting with me, book a meeting with me, book a meeting with me over and over. We're using the data that they gave us, and we're saying, hey, look, this was in this particular case, we're saying this was your revenue trend and recurring revenue and customer concentration. Each of these factors shapes how a buyer evaluates risk. So we're educating them, and we're using their own data as part of the follow-up so that it's really applicable. And then we just say, hey, reply yes, we'll send over some times, or we can include your link to your calendar. And so on and so forth. Each one of these emails, before it sends, it's going to check to see if there was a response and if a meeting is already booked. And that way it's not going to continue to send those emails if someone has taken action on the previous email. And so there's 4 of these that drip out automatically with time delays in between, about 7 days in between each email. So this is great, and this is powerful, and it helps ensure that every single lead is getting nurtured. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you still have to do your part. So that's where we create opportunity pipelines, and you'll be able to see every business valuation submission and reach out to them, call them, move them into appropriate categories. I'll get into that in a second. So some of these other workflows that you see here, this is for the LinkedIn leads and how we manage the LinkedIn lead flow. That includes, removing somebody who says they're not interested, or escalating somebody who responds. We also have the webinar quarterly invite. So this is where we're going to take your evergreen pre-recorded webinar, and we're going to take the link to that, and we're going to put it in here into this quarterly invite drip campaign. And this is going to drip out a series of emails to anybody who's in this campaign every quarter and invite them back. So we're taking 60 business days, which is approximately 3 months. We're sending the webinar invitation, and then we're going to wait 3 months, and it's going to loop back around and send the webinar invitation again. But we added this break right here that says if they've already registered for the webinar, then take them out of the workflow. We don't want to keep inviting them back to see the same webinar they've already seen, right? So anybody who's registered gets removed. Anybody who has not registered is going to continue to, every 3 months, get invited to watch your evergreen webinar automatically. Guys, this is incredibly powerful. With all of this stuff working for you and all the things that you would have to do manually, it's almost virtually impossible to do all of this consistently the way it needs to be done in order to generate leads. But with the power of technology working with you, almost like your personal assistant, handling all the dirty work, all the volume stuff, all the repetitive actions automatically in the background, it ensures that you've got a system working. And that's why we call it LeadFlow. So I just want to show you the opportunities here. So in the opportunities pipeline that we add into the CRM, you'll have one called LeadFlow pipeline. And this will show you link syncs, people who have connected with you on LinkedIn, and then you'll be nurturing them through. So you just want to take any of them who have engaged, and as you're talking to them, you move them to interested. Also, and we can add an opportunity here. Let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to take Geoff Chaney, who's a contact, and turn him into an opportunity. And once I hit refresh, okay, so now you can see Geoff Chaney as an opportunity in this pipeline. And this is going to happen automatically when somebody connects with you on LinkedIn. It's not only going to create a contact record, it's going to create an opportunity record and drop them right here. Now in LinkedIn, if they respond and they respond positively, you can mark them as interested, and that's automatically going to move them into this next category. So now that they're in the interested tag section, you know who you're engaging with and who you want to follow up with and who is just a new connection. Now, new connections and all of these people are going to get invited to your evergreen webinar automatically. If somebody books a meeting with you, they're automatically going to get moved into the meeting booked category. So you'll see things changing here without you doing anything because people are taking action and your system is updating. Now, if someone's non-responsive, we can just move them over to here, and it's going to, after the series of emails have dripped out and all of the outreach has come to an end, other than the evergreen webinar workflow, it's just going to stop and it's going to remove them from your outreach priorities. And that way you can just kind of say, hey, this person's never gotten back to me. Just put them on that long-term follow-up drip, invite them to the webinar. If they ever take action on it, we can bring them back in. And then you are going to have people who just say no, that they're not interested. No problem. Just go ahead and drag them and disqualify. That's going to remove them from this opportunity pipeline. So guys, that is the system. And what I want to do now is just, I'm going to shut that down and just kind of give you the overview of how it works. So the way that we bring on new clients is through an application process. And what I want to encourage you to do is go to leadflow.onedery.com, and I'll actually show that briefly. I've got that up here. And so let me bring that up on the screen. And I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. So leadflow.onedery.com. So this is where you can go to apply. And the reason why I say apply versus buy is because we want to make sure that we're the right fit for each other. We're going to be working hard for you, and there's things that we do expect of you to commit to as well, such as doing the webinar on a regular basis to ensure that we're creating the right content and everything is flowing. So if you go to leadflow.onedery.com, you can learn all about our process. You can watch a little 3-minute overview video where I talk about everything in high concentrate. Meet the team, compare our technology to others out there. So this is where we're giving you all of these things. We're basically taking all this technology and stacking it together for $500 a month. It's an incredible value. All these tools for $500 a month. Plus, we're helping you set the whole thing up. Now, we do offer a social media management option. So I want to explain what that is. So that is where we have a human being here in the US who's amazing, and she will take your webinar content and rip it up into all the little bite-sized chunks and help you schedule it across all the social channels and do other posts for you in between, promoting your webinar, your next webinar, and following up with the recording and everything across not just LinkedIn, but also across Facebook and Instagram and others. So this is a dedicated social media management manager who's going to do all of that stuff for you. That is $500 a month if you want to do that, but it's not required by any means. It's just a service we provide. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, I just want to review the pricing. And this is where we have our monthly fee. Our monthly fee is $497. This does not start until the system is set up for you. So basically, once we turn on the LinkedIn automation and we start reaching out to people, that's when your monthly subscription would start. There is a one-time setup fee of $29.97, and this fee is due immediately as far as engagement goes. So that puts you on our calendar and we start going to work right away. The $29.97 will get billed after you're approved. So if you apply and you're interested in joining, you can click apply. It's going to bring you to this form here. Go ahead and just fill this out, answer some questions for us. And when you click apply, it'll come to me. I'll review it. We can have a one-on-one follow-up call at that point if you want to ask any questions. And if it's a good fit, I'll go ahead and approve it. And that's going to send you an invoice for the $29.97. Once you pay that, we're in business. We're going to start working for you. And like I said, the monthly fees don't start until the service begins. So that is the overview of everything. Let me go ahead and switch back over here. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I do want to give you something as just a way of saying thanks for being here. I've got some deliverables. Let me find it here. This is my handout. Okay, so what I want to give you is first, my profile optimization guide. This is totally free, and this you can use to go into LinkedIn and completely optimize your LinkedIn profile. There's some AI prompts in here that you can use that will automatically write copy for you, and it's just incredibly powerful. And it's one of the first things that you need to do before you start a LinkedIn campaign. You need to get your profile really well optimized. So feel free to download that. The next thing I want to give you is my LinkedIn strategy builder. So if you want to go to our LinkedIn strategy builder, this is an AI powered tool that will walk you through a series of steps and ask you questions about your business. And it's going to help write a complete comprehensive LinkedIn plan for you. That's going to include scripts and copy for your videos and messages you can send and workflow automations and everything. It's incredibly powerful. So if you want to do that, go ahead and bookmark that or go to that now that the webinar's over and check it out. So that's it. Let's go ahead and wrap it up right here. Hey, I want to thank everybody. Follow up with me one-on-one. Go to leadflow.onedery.com, submit the application. I'll review everything quickly and get right back to you, and then we can talk about next steps. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me here today.